Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another episode of Marriage Makes Threes, GD and me.
Yes.
GD and me from Marriage
Makes
Makes Three.
.com. I like to say
That's
that part.
right.
I like to see you part.
Hashtag GD and me. We're in here, y'all, like swimwear.
Boom.
We're dropping all of the tools to help you get your relationship on and popping. Hello, 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 everybody. Hey, Booski.
Hey, Booski. Hey, darling.
He's up and
Hey,
at 'em.
sweetheart. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, guys, come on in the room. Invite somebody. Share the broadcast. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Share it. Or where else can we share it? You can share it
In
on
the
the snaps,
rain,
on the
in the
plane,
rain, on the train, and the plane. That's right.
in the box,
Share,
in the
share,
hops,
share,
in the
share, share.
tops.
So we've
Rocks.
been talking this week, starting last night, about fetish.
See,
Fetish.
fetish.
Okay. No, okay, we're not endorsing. We just want you to know that people have them. And they can be a detriment to your relationship. So that's what we do. We're dropping the information, but in the pursuit of sexual fulfillment, gratification, some people end up dropping into the fetish zone. They end up getting the fever.
And some of them need a little penicillin for their
hot. That's right. Get the hot.
Or some sort of pills.
That stuff ain't working, folks. Y'all know. A lot of this stuff is defying. It's saying to penicillin, ha. It's saying to the antibiotics, ha. You think that's gonna help? Those little germs.
Oh my God.
Those little germs are like the mice that Tom and Jerry. You know.
I laugh in the face of penicillin.
and it's seriously, it's not funny, but you have to find some humor in it.
That's right.
And so we started talking about this last night, and it's a very interesting subject. People, again, in the interest of trying to find fulfillment or satisfaction, they end up going over the edge. We don't want that for you. We want you to, how do we find fulfillment without going start raving that's mad?
You're some sort of lunatic.
Yeah.
What are you doing, ma'am or sir? And we were talking about this last night. Hey, y'all. We were talking about it last night that, we both know somebody that a real human somebody that have gone on to be
going on to judgment.
Right.
Kimmy.
Hey, Kim. How are you, lady? Thanks for joining. Thank you guys for sharing the broadcast and inviting the people. Listen, who said it? I think it was my son. I think it was our spiritual son.
Okay.
I don't even know we should say spiritual son with this comment, but it is what it is. You guys know Daniel. Daniel said.
Throw him under the bus. Mark.
He already knows that he said it.
Daniel, look out for the bus. Go ahead.
He can handle it. Daniel said that some people are, how did he say it? Coming and going at the same time. That's what he said. That's what he said. And it's not funny. It was funny when he said it because it's funny. Because it's funny. Not the situation, but the way he said it. They're just coming and going at the same time. Lord have mercy. Okay. This is what we're out here doing. And so listen, we have to be very careful that, and Kim Hargrove, Mrs. Hargrove, she told us last night that one thing that people need to do is make sure that if they're going to indulge in some of these things, that they have something called a safe word.
Come on.
And a safe word is like that it's like that, that time out. Listen, okay, it was good for a minute, but now it's not so good, right? You laughed. All right. So it's not so good now because now I'm actually in physical pain. I'm feeling as though I might pass out or whatever. There was a video going around on the interwebs. And on the interwebs, the young girl and the guy, they were, I think they were kind of playing, but at the same time, he had her neck back this way. And then, the rest of her was, she was stretched to where you couldn't get air, and she passed out.
Yeah. And that's why I guess people they feel like they need dolls and mannequins and stuff like that.
All of the above.
But those are some of the areas of fetishes that we are aware of that people have. Okay, so we're going to get to that comment. I want to go ahead and tell you about a very important resource for you. If whether or not your mate or you happen to be in the fetish fever,
right,
or experiencing symptoms of fetish fever, this is a communications guide, a sex communications guide. It's absolutely free. There's no credit cards, free of charge, $0 and 0 cents. Absolutely. It's free. You can get it by following the link that's in the description.
It's at bit.ly/mm3links.
Thank you, honey. And you download it, 27 questions. You both take 27, half of the booklet. Then you go to your corners, or if you want to, and you can go ahead and fill out your answers. Yes, no, or maybe so will be your responses. Then you can come back and exchange if you want to, or you can both go together through your responses, and you're going to be surprised. And I can just about assure you that some of you are going to be very surprised about the way your mate responds versus the way you respond. It's a good eye opener. It gets the conversation started. So there may be some things that you want to do that's not really a fetish. A fetish is something that is kind of extreme. Mm-hmm. You have to do it. That's the way you identify it. You have to do it in order to find sexual gratification. And it's something that can get you in trouble. It can be harmful to one or both of you. Mm-hmm. It can be dangerous. Okay. Yes. So those are some of the ways that we identify what a fetish is. This book will help you to eliminate some of those concerns from your sexual life. And you'll be amazed at how much just in the back of your mind, how thinking of a certain thing, you may be thinking of a certain thing that's going on in your mind that your mate, you're wondering what they're thinking and how that can hinder your frama and your enjoyment of your intimacy. All right. So pick this up. Absolutely free. And it will really help you.
And for those of you that might be in here and you're single, there's also some awesome free downloads over there for you as well. Check out Dateology. It is the dating manifesto. It's over there. You can get it tonight. It's going to help you before the weekend rolls around. Who is calling my phone? Hey, Deirdre says, ooh, you're going to let me pick a number. You would like that, wouldn't you? All right.
So,
hey, good hey, everybody. Hey,
Mrs. Hargrove is mentioning the book 7 Ways in 7 Days, which is 7 keys to better sex in your marriage. You can pick that up at Amazon. You can also get it on Kindle. You can get this on Kindle. You can get the new updated version, which contains a section, the couple on the cover, and is also expanded and is for those of you who maybe have a little visual challenge, we have put this in a large print edition and added some content. So this book will absolutely help you.
So find this over there at Marriage Makes 3, or you can check it out on the Amazon. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, there is also our third book. This is the one that we wrote together. We call that same person that called me. Deirdre, help us. Deirdre, help us. Here is seven. No, I'm sorry. We did seven keys. This is Erogenous Zones, Exploring Marital Intimacy, the book that we call the Intimacy Bible. Yes. And this is something that is going to help you, it's going to bless you with your relationship. Because some of us, we have forgotten some of the things that we have already known. And this, what this does, it gives you some guidance, it gives you some education, it's going to help you to find those places back. You know, sometimes you'll put something somewhere and you don't remember, where did I put that? And listen, some of us, our libidos have gone, has turned up missing.
It's gone south.
It's like, wait a minute.
South of the border.
I had a libido at one point in my life. Where did it go? Is something wrong? Is there?
It's not down.
There's nothing. Equally yoked, not yoked up. Right. Amen. Hey, Sister Shirley, thanks for joining us. I see the juice is still loose. All right. This is going to help to give you some guidance on those places that you can go. I want it to sound like Dr. Seuss, but I'm not going to do it because this is not a broadcast for the children. That's so right. Be sure, if you have not yet, hey sis, I love you, Vicky. If you have not yet put those children to bed, please, ma'am, please, sir, do that because we are not PG tonight. My husband said it's not porn, but it's not PG. All right. Right. So this is our second book. Erogenous Zones, Exploring Marital Intimacy. Awesome, amazing book that will help you to get right back on track from where you were. What are the erogenous zones? Generally erogenous, achieving relaxation, navigating the zones. It could be dangerous. You have all of that included, involved in this book. So much more. Yeah, somebody was reading it the other day and she said, oh my. It was so funny. It wasn't, I mean, it's not porn. There are no words in here that is going to make you, well, it might make you blush, but it's not a curse word. So, you know, if you've got some puritanicalism ideology in you, then, you know, if you wear one of those little things back here in the back of your head at the store, you're not going to get a book. But then again, y'all, let me tell y'all something. Some of us, we think that those people that are walking around that's got on the long black dress and their whole face is covered and all of that, they not always is pure. Well, I don't say pure. They could be pure, but they're not as innocent. Let's say it like that. They're not.
Where those 12 kids came from?
Hello.
I'm just
right. So let's keep it funky. Yeah. Okay. They can be the biggest freak in the same. Y'all can be the biggest freaks out here, and y'all are up undercover. But as long as you're up undercover with your husband, with your wife, you're good. Come on. Y'all know we are Christian pastors. We are spiritual relationship counselors, and we are your go-to couple for all things relationship. We started talking last night, and don't forget, we have put an advisory, put them kids to bed. They don't need to hear none of this. Deirdre says I'm opening my book. We started talking about it last night about the fetish fever, that there are different people that have different ways of feeling sexually fulfilled in their relationship. And we also found out that there were some things that we need to do. We should be safe. There's a place for hygiene everywhere. However, with some people, Brother Terry, they don't care about hygiene. Some people, they like it. And we talked about dirty. Yeah, literally. We talked about, first of all, was the foot fetishes, because we know that we have a daughter, a spiritual daughter, that, you know, if you're going to be, she's like, if you're going to be with me, I need to see your feet. What's your foot game like? If your foot game is rough, if your foot game makes you look like a werewolf, I don't want nothing to do with you. That's just how she is. That's what she feels. So if you want her, you might want to sneak up on her, get in her heart first before you take your feet, your shoes, and your socks off. And that's all there is to it. Okay.
You don't want to take your shoes
off. No. Shirley said, grown folks, this is all age appropriate. Yes, ma'am. Amen. Hey, Sister Shirley, love you. Good to have you. They super freaks like Rick James. Hey, Brother Al. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely correct. They are super freaks. still put freak. I was trying to put freak somehow in the title, but what is it called?
Fever, fetish
Fetish fever
fever.
was the best that y'all can get from it.
Fetish fever, like dance
Yeah.
fever, or yeah, dance boogie fever. Come on. You doing the robot,
I'm
baby?
doing
What is
something.
that?
I don't know. I'm doing to keep
All right.
myself awake.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. So
Right.
you know who we are. We told you about some of our resources. Look, go over to IG. If you're on IG and you need to be on IG, need to be on IG. Go to IG
Like,
and join us at
IG?
Marriage Makes Three. Join us on any of the platforms. YouTube, we're there. Facebook Live, Periscope TV, we're here. All right. So let's move with our content.
It's good to be here. Thank you. Hey, Sir John, thank you for joining. Can we say podiatrist? You really gonna miss God cause of feet? Yes. Hey, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, and we talked about this last night, that fetishes are a two-sided coin. That one side of the fetish coin could be preference, and the other side is perversion, right? And so when you move from one side of the coin to the other, it might be something that you need to consider. You know, where am I at with the Lord? How is this affecting my family, my relationship? Is this something that is going to cause harm, hurt, or danger to come to me or to my partner? And those are things that you have to consider when you're talking about fetishes, all right? So don't forget, two sides of the coin: preference, perversion. Preference, perversion. That's why we have to have something called temperate.
Yeah.
Did you? Temperance. I like that. Fulfillment versus freakish. But it could be the same thing. Yeah. It just depends, right? So as we are here tonight, we're going to ask you all that if you have not shared, I know they probably like share this broadcast so other people will know how freaky I might possibly be. Why would I want to do that?
We ain't telling nobody nothing, but y'all know somebody who is bordering on it.
Yeah.
In fact, you've told them, look, that's
matter of fact,
drop it in their inbox.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just put a cover on it, say adult material, so they'll know.
NSFW.
Yeah, that's right. What is it?
I was in one of our team meetings today, and in the team meeting, there was someone there that isn't normally there. And when we were kind of, you know, because we have to figure out what are we going to do, what do the people want to hear as far as Marriage Makes Three and things of that nature. And so when we started talking about, yes, from last night till today, the area of foot fetishes came back up. And you know, I was just kind of saying some stuff off the top of my head. And the young person said, I used to have someone in my life like that they like to have their foot and their toes gagging. What? And so, listen, guys, this stuff is real. People are out here really and truly getting fulfillment off of some stuff that other people think, ew.
Yeah. There was in social media today a photo of a couple in one of our major cities. I believe it was Oakland.
Okay.
Public sexual act. And people were standing along waiting for the mass transit like nothing was going on, except there's got to be somebody in that crowd with a camera. And there's got to be somebody up photographing this. And I looked in the picture, and there was this guy with his phone up.
Hey, you know, how could you just be? What is wrong with people?
Just nonchalant. Oh, I'm gonna just mind my business.
Boink,
the
boink.
Clouds are beautiful.
Boink, boink.
All of this going on, and everybody else is trying not to look. You know, and you know, so that is an example.
Yes.
We also mentioned last night the fella who has healthy, happily ever after. Thank you for being with us. The gentleman who has a collection or a harem of 8 robotic dolls, anatomically correct.
Yep.
Flesh feeling that feel like flesh, I guess. Yeah. So those are examples. And there are other people who want a mannequin. Seriously.
Yeah, a real life
Mannequins
mannequin that doesn't
disappear
even
from the
move.
store.
Yes, because people steal them because they have a fetish.
Absolutely.
Oh, y'all. We've got
Underwear
so much
section.
stuff that we have to deal with in these days and times. And so we have to have good education so that when we come upon things, and listen, in the church, you have to understand that when we get to the church house, by the time we get there, we have seen so many things. So many of us have done so many things. So many of us have experienced so many things. And then we get to church and somebody expects that you're going to be, oh, y'all be doing that during praise and worship though. Let me go on. That's real talk right there. Y'all act like y'all ain't never danced on the dance floor. Y'all act like y'all ain't never boogied down. Y'all act like y'all ain't never did the Chicken Little. Y'all act like y'all ain't done nothing. Hey, Bless Up says, I seen that they were near the subway. And Shirley said, that's Oakland for you. Okay. They sell foot pictures online. Yes. Bless Up. Let me tell you something. There is a lady that oh my goodness, it's absolutely incredible the things that are out here for us. Well, for them out here in these streets, right? There's a lady. She's about she's lighter than I am. She weighs about 400 to 500 pounds. And people will pay her cash money for her to put on two little clothes. Yeah. Wow. Okay. They'll send her stuff in the mail, have her put it on, and they know it's not going to fit. But for some people, that is a turn on for them, and they are getting her to videotape herself doing this, and they're paying real cash money to see her put some, and it's nothing even sexual about it. You understand what I'm saying? But for some people, and that's the length that some people will go with fetishes. Last year, that was a woman who was selling her bathwater, vials of bathwater, I believe for a low of $400 a pop. And what does she have? I don't know if she sold out or not, but I don't know. Well, honey, you know that what's that girl name? She's selling incense that smells like coochie, like her. Oh Lord. We didn't bring barf bags with us, but I might need one. See, that's just all right. Wow, look at those comments. Oh, you all are on fire over on Periscope. Sir John, Sir Charles says, I was on Scope where someone quickly showed her pedicure and the views went up that quick. Wow. Yes. Okay. There are real foot fetish people. There was one gentleman, and I hadn't even said anything about this. It's been a while ago. Well, not that long ago, but he likes to see the lines in your hand. What? Could you take me some pictures? I'll send you money if you send. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, right? No, he was really willing to send me some cash at me. I'm like, I preach every other Sunday at church. I go to other places and preach. I preach online. I'm here on this broadcast, and people don't even send us a quarter. But then I can just go take a picture of my hand, and somebody will pay me cash money for it. Amen. And see, so this is where we have to be careful where the line is between preference and perversion, right? Shirley says you might see anything on BART. Seriously. Oh, I hear you. Okay. That's the transit system. Yes, MART is in Florida. BART is in California. Bless us, she need to be on my 400-pound life. She really could be, but she probably is making more money than what they could pay her in real life. Could you imagine a threesome with a robot? No, ma'am, I could not. How much? I don't even know how much it was, Deidre, but she was making good money. She is out here banking. She's got her accounts were real high. I mean, they gave us some figures. I don't remember all of it, but her bank account was flooded. She had stocks, she had bonds, she had properties, real estate, all of that just by her being able to put clothes on that tears off easily because they can't fit her. And she was about 400 to 500 pounds, and I kid you not. And so when we're talking about fetishes, hey Ariel, it is absolutely something that we are seeing and we're dealing with more and more and more. How much they pay me to put more clothes on?
Yeah.
You just never know.
And more and more, we love you too, Ariel. More and more too, we're seeing cases where people want a woman to have a lot of extra poundage.
Yeah.
You know, they want to feed them, and they do
Yes,
that.
there
They
are
will feed
feeders
you and just allow you to become
to
as
get
big as
bigger
you
and
want.
bigger and bigger because that's what they like.
Mhm.
And in one way is almost abusive, but
It
if the
really
other
is.
person is allowing it, there's a codependency that's
Yeah.
going on there. And if
I
your
need the
health,
food.
remember, if your health becomes in jeopardy or your safety, then that's when we've got to put that safe word into place and we
Yeah.
have to get back to where it's not perversion anymore, but it's just preference.
And I think that's our turning point to demonstrating that this is content. We're giving you a lot of examples of what the perversion of what the fetishes are. And those are just a few examples.
Right.
And we can tell you, and we're sure that you've seen some that we have not seen, right? But there's a lot of that
They're
stuff
out
out
here.
there.
Yes.
But we decided to do this. What was the inspiration for this?
The inspiration
subject?
was we have that one particular daughter that she is one of those like, listen, do not come near me with your jacked up feet. Keep them things 50 feet away from me. Put your socks on, your shoes back on, sir, because I am not enticed at all whatsoever. You could be fine in the face, but if your feet is jacked up, I don't want nothing to do with it. And so to know the difference between that, that's my preference. Amen. As opposed to my fetish. She said McNasty's is out there. Yes.
Because most fetishes are not, it's not a clean fetish, right? There's not very many clean fetishes. Most of them want something that's kind of extreme.
Yes.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
They want something that's kind of out
It's
there and
different.
extreme.
It's different, right? Sir Charles said, listen, I can work out and sell the underwear for big bucks. Bless up his screaming. That's right, honey. It was Erica Badu. She's got a whole incense line. Is it incense or candles? Incense or candles that smell like not just coochie, smells like her coochie.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. And she's making a ton of money. I don't know if it's, she said coochie water. She said coochie water. I cannot wait to use this, Shirley. It's Erica Badu. Yes, it is Erica Badu. I just couldn't think of her name. Shirley said, I saw a naked man on bars saying he was Jesus. Lord, these are the things that we're dealing with. She said, where are these people at so I can get another stream of income? Hey, Steph. Hey there. Thank you for joining us tonight oh my goodness. Marta says, have you not shared the live yet? What are you waiting on? Share the live so that we can discuss this. This is some interesting stuff what we've got going on here. Somebody paid like $10 for stepped on bread. Y'all, don't, Stephanie, don't for the fee. Okay. Let's see. Gwyneth Paltrow has the candles. Okay, so Erica Badu has the incense, and Gwyneth Paltrow has candles that smell coochie candles. They call them. I'm sorry.
Weird.
But y'all, these are the things that we're out here dealing with. Okay, hey Danielle, love you, daughter. My clean fetish is his bank account. If his bank account got a old zeros, oh baby, let's talk. You're so silly. Charles, you can actually can for like $20. And Stephanie said that's gross. Candles smell like vajayjay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So listen, guys. Again, I'm Pastor Michelle. This is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors. We're veterans of the United States Air Force. We're your go-to couple for all things relationship. And so what we want you to know tonight is that you might be dealing with some issues in your individual relationship. What we will need you to do is to go on over to Marriage Makes Three, or you can check the link in the bio, bit.ly/MM3 links. And there you can schedule yourself for a free 15-minute encounter session where we can sit down together, talk about one issue that you've got dealing with, and then we can give you a strategy. And possibly, if you need to, you may need to go on into a little course of counseling that's going to help you to enhance your relationship, to support you, encourage you, whether you're getting into the relationship or maybe you're getting out or you've gotten out. And listen, we are here to help you, to show you the way, to mentor you, and to do what's necessary so that you can be completely happy and whole. Now, I want you to remember that we do have on sale right now Relationship Reconnect, regularly $29.99. It is now on sale for $19.99. That's 4 digital videos, and you're also going to get a free copy, a download of 7 Keys to Better Sex in your. Is this $1? Oh, there's some dollars. What? Coming up. I ain't never gonna be broke. No, not in the digital copy. But who?
If you find any money in the digital copy, you can.
All I do is win, no matter what.
That's a percentage. It does.
And it's right in here with the paper that talks about the tithe. Look at God.
Oh, wow. Maybe.
I'm just in here.
Oh, okay. No, let's not do that.
Okay.
Just go ahead and get my cut.
It is. It is what it is. Go on over Relationship Reconnect, regularly $29.99, on sale for $19.99. 4 digital videos that's going to help you, that's going to show you what you need to do today to start to get the relationship that has possibly come apart at the seams. It'll help you to find out what's next, what you need to do, and then get it back on track. And on top of that, you are going to get this digital copy of 7 Keys to Better Sex in your marriage. Okay, go on over to bit.ly/reconnected. If the link is in the title. All right, money on my mind. Come on here now. All right, Sir Charles. Oh, they're just putting the links up there for us. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Danielle McKenzie. Glad to have you with us, daughter.
Amen. She said, hands go up. Did you just make it rain? I did. It was only dollars, but I made it rain. Hey.
You know how people take your sound bites and replay them? All they need to do is see that. Oh, Lord. We're going to have trouble.
It is what it is. All right. So, guys, let me see a number 1. Actually, it's a number 1, 2, 3 in the chat. Oh, Lord, we got to start there? I guess so.
Could start right there.
We can start and then go back. Okay, let's do it like that. Let me see the number 4s, you guys, in the chat as we move into our content for tonight. Not that all of that wasn't content, because all of that was good.
Absolutely.
It was good.
And if you want to see it again, you better watch it right after we're done.
Amen.
Because it's
gotta
gotta bring it down.
See, she says that's a good deal, y'all. Go get your books. I know y'all got y'all tax refunds. I got money on my mind. All I see is dollar signs. Come on, bless up. Amen. Yes, don't forget. So I'm seeing the number 3s and the number 4s in here. I don't even know what's going on. I guess I asked for the number 4. So here's number 4. When we're talking about fetish fever, which is what we're dealing with, we're on part number 2 tonight. There are some people that have a fetish towards, and this is pretty mild, towards lingerie. All right. They need to have lingerie included in the intercourse, the sexual play. They need to have it. They like to see it in order for them to get aroused in the way that they feel like they need. They like to see, yes. And you guys remember when we were talking before, one of the ways that you can increase the desire in your relationship for men is this, because some of us, we think that because we got a little bit too pudgy here, we got a fupa down here, and we got too much arm that fat up. Yeah. If we have too much of those things, we feel a little self-conscious, especially as women. But I want you to know that when they are doing the statistics, every single one has come back that those men, if they're with you and they love you, they could care less that you got some fupa. They could care less that you've got love handles. They could care less that you're done lapped over. All they're concerned about is that my wife, my significant other, is giving me some. All right. And so we found out that they don't mind having the lights on. Because sometimes when you're self-conscious, you don't want nobody to see nothing. But for gentlemen, for our gentlemen, for the ones that they have polled, the ones that they have asked the questions to, their line of sight, there's something about it. And we have to remember that for most men, because of the way that their biology is set up, they are more sight creatures, right? They can see something and become aroused. And that's why you have mainly men, for the most part, men that are addicted or enjoy or dabble in the porn because it's easy. You can see it, it's visually appealing, and they can do what's necessary, quote unquote, in that particular arena. Josh says Frady cats won't start with 3. You better hurry, sir. Marta said your stomach done lapped over your knees. Yes, you've got Dunlap's disease. Hey, brother Pern. Marta says invest that extra dollars y'all just got. Yes, ma'am. Amen. Bless Up says that my boyfriend likes for mine to match and he buys the ones he want to see me in. Okay. And yes, we were talking about lingerie.
Guys are visual. We are more visual. Now, even though the sound of your voice may be important and it may cause a reaction, the smell of a certain cologne. That's why you could wear a new cologne around a guy and, he might not ever notice. If you're expecting him to notice that that's new, did you notice my, have you ever asked that? Did you notice my cologne?
Right.
Because guys are not, for the most part, are not going to pick up on that right away, right? Okay. But visually, what they see will be 9 times out of 10 appealing or stimulating.
And there are some gentlemen that's their fetish. Like the young woman here says, she said that her boyfriend likes to buy her matching lingerie because there's something about that. Some guys, they're like, they care less if you wear the granny panties. Some guys could care less if your nightgown is 100 years old, so old, wet. How are you? Thank you for joining. They could care if you wear that, that nightie that has the not tonight sign written across it, even though it has no words there. And they are those that are going to go out and do that for you because that's what they like.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Now, grandmother's old jumper, a grandmother's old shift is not going to do it for him.
Right.
Because that's going to run from a grandmother. So I'm just telling you that now. So that isn't going to do it.
Exactly.
So,
hey, Angel Wings. Thank you for joining. Hey, it is what it is. Now, we're in here tonight. I want you all to know that we are talking adult stuff. We want to educate you all because there are some things that's going on out here in these relationship streets that you need to know what is happening around you so you are not caught off guard. True Movement said the no 90. Yes, they don't get anything from that, right? Got a brand new hairstyle today and he couldn't wait to play in it. You see what I'm saying? And so visual. They like that. What can I? Oh my God, that looks so great. Even when you're dealing with your self-concept. And so women, you have to begin to be comfortable with who you are so that you are not that one that says, no, turn off all the lights. When he's saying, I want to see, then let him see, because what we're doing is we're bringing the transparency, the intimacy back on that level that it needs to be. All right. So, Angel,
but guys, if you are in a situation where your mate doesn't want so much light, you may need to turn the lights down. Get some candles. Get a light where get some RGB, some fluorescent light, something that has subtle tones
Yes.
that will make her feel more comfortable.
Right.
So that's a clue for you if your mate isn't really into being seen so much. Very important.
Okay, I told y'all that if you need husband classes, that you need to contact Pastor G. All right, because he got you. I'm just gonna tell y'all the whole truth, nothing but the truth. He got you. So listen when the man talks, okay? Angel Wing says you're beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, darling. Thank you so much. Marta says, are your current relationship goals full of holes? Reconnect now. Go over bit.ly/reconnected. Amen. Talking now about grannies.
Angel Wings, we talk about it all.
Yes.
Right? Thank you for being with us.
Praise God. And
yes,
absolutely, please share. And if you have not shared this yet, please absolutely, we encourage it. We are here Tuesday through Thursday between 9 and 9:30 is Central Standard Time. We are giving you the tools that's going to help you to get your relationships on and popping. Stephanie says blue light special. Yes. Blue lights, pink lights, yellow lights, all of that is going to help to bring the ambiance.
There's a whole market right now with this RGB lighting. Remotes, you can get it, a simple strip of it.
Yes.
And maybe redecorate your whole bedroom.
Yep.
So a bedroom, I mean, just someplace where you need just kind of a nuance light.
Yes.
Not too much, not overpowering, and you can adjust it with a simple remote.
Right.
So, put some thought into that. If you know that she's, and if she has a gift, if her gift is a gift of service, of your providing, doing something special to make her feel more comfortable, your stock's gonna soar
up. That's right. Shirley Baker says, hubby said you can wear grannies because they're coming off anyway. Okay. All right. So let me see you guys. Let's see. We talked about lingerie. Let me see the number 5 in the chat. Number 5. We're talking about fetish fever tonight. So we're going to ask you that if you have any young children around, please, ma'am, please, sir, this is not appropriate for them. So find us over here, okay? Absolutely. Come on in here, Angel Wings. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. All right. So here's the next it's a proclivity for some people. Some people consider it as a fetish, and other people consider it as normal. This is a no judgment zone. We just want you to have the education. Nobody's going to ask you what you do at your house with your spouse. What house, spouse, ironic.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm like Dr. Seuss, Mrs. Seuss. Okay.
Well, we're not doing Dr. Seuss, so kids go back to bed. Because you're hearing rhymes don't mean it's your time. Go back to sleep.
Yes, amen. All right, so here we are. Thank you guys for the number 5. Number 5. After we talked about lingerie, this is the next thing called anal sex. And I understand. Some of you guys are like, bro, suck the air out the room when she said it.
Don't hyperventilate.
Breathe. I'm gonna need you to breathe.
Breathe.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Let it out. Angel Wings. Glad found us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, darling.
Thank you.
All right. So, you don't have to have a fetish, all right, to engage in anal sex, but there are people that specifically that's what they are into. It's not I want to do this on occasion. That's what they want to do.
If they have any kind of sex,
it has to be right. And there are apparatuses, I guess. She said I tensed up. There are apparatuses that people that they use. You can find it on those websites where they're called plugs. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. They are called, but they're called plugs.
But okay.
Plugs. Yes. Okay. All right. And for some reason, there are those that are out here that's their thing.
Yeah.
They have to, and you'll see if you ever watch Sex Sent Me to the ER, you will find that there are some people that like to do things and put things there that are not advised.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, people, they're carrying drugs. That's one thing, but it's not advisable because when you're starting to put live animals and objects, that things that can end up staying there, and you have to go to the emergency room in order to retrieve them, that becomes a problem. And listen, when you get older, you're also going to have to know that it's very possible that you may have you may have a propensity towards hemorrhoids. They used to call something back in the day piles, and things of that nature. Not saying that that is your portion. That's not saying that that's absolutely going to happen. It all depends on the person, how they're physically made up, and things of that nature.
There was one gentleman in Sex Sent Me to the ER that actually had an electronic device that stuck, and it actually had to give him muscle relaxers, and I mean, it wasn't surgery, but really strong muscle relaxers, and go fishing to remove it. So that's, and here again an example of the kind of things that are going on.
Yes.
And the importance, if you are single, of really knowing this person that you're thinking about
getting together with. Yes. And when we do premarital counseling, these are some of the things that we end up having to deal with, discuss, and talk about, because sometimes the one person doesn't know how to broach this with the other person. And see, by the time you're ready to go down the aisle, you have pretty much said, I love this person, this is the one for me, and you have emotional ties with this person. And so if there's a deal breaker, the things that people need to know, you need to know it before you get into the marriage.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we're not able to say things because we don't know how to break whatever our traumas, our childhood issues are, and all of those things. And that's why we do premarital counseling.
And some of these things, listen, when it comes to fetishes, they're very ingrained in a person.
They can be,
as you said, a person who not just he refers to, or she refers to, sex, anal sex, as sex. You know what I mean? There is no other kind. There is no other, that this is the only way that we're going to have sex.
Right.
So you must be aware of that. You must know that this is this person, this is where they're coming from, what caused them to be that way, why are they that way, but you don't want to be the one finding out when it's too late.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so what we're saying, when it comes to fetishes, and people are going to do what they're going to do, but if it has the potential to cause harm, then the answer is no. If it's going to make a person feel like less than a human being, like there are some people who, males, who only want to have sex while facing the back of a woman. Y'all getting that?
Oh, okay.
Only doggy style, or rear, where she's
rear
facing
entry.
away from
rear
him.
entry.
And if that's the only way the person that you're in love with wants to have sex with you, there's something a little bit deeper going on.
It could be.
Right?
It could be. Yeah.
There's something there more that needs to be discussed.
Right.
Why is that?
Yeah, because again, this is why we have to have the conversation.
Absolutely.
Because
and this is why we're talking about it.
Right.
Because other people are not talking about it in the sense that we are.
Right. Amen. You gotta, what they say, knowledge is power.
Mm.
And when you have knowledge, man, you can go further and faster, right? You can figure things out, deal with issues, and go to the place called happiness and the journey called success, right? So here it is. Stephanie says, anal sex, heck to the no. Loose here, devil. She said, loose here, devil. Complete that yes, no assessment to know if it's acceptable to both. Exactly. And that's that free download that we have available for you all over at bit.ly/MM3LINKS. It's one of those tools that's going to help you. All right. Now, Stephanie then says, when I worked, and for those of you that don't know, Stephanie is a nurse. And she says, when I worked in the operating room, I've seen it all. When she says all, she could tell you stories. That's all we're going to say.
Wow.
Marta said, ouch. Amen. I know you've seen plenty in there. Let's see. Stephanie says, seen a guy come in the operating room with a huge bolt around his private area. Okay, what exactly were you trying to screw it off?
Chastity.
A bolt. Okay.
Yeah, I know what. Oh, okay. Okay, he's tightened.
What was you doing, sir?
Tighten it up, I guess.
I don't know. Another guy came in with a huge frozen sausage in his anus. All right, we're talking about fetish fever, you guys. And so we know that these things are happening. And so if we have the understanding of it, then we'll be able to deal with some things. Stephanie says different forms of sexual violations, and it comes during those times. Okay, got you. Oh my goodness. And Lord help those that are dealing with these issues, because let me tell you something. These are things that can be very traumatic to an individual. And why is it that we end up having frigidity? Why is it that we have sexless marriages? Sometimes it's because of some of the traumas that have taken place during our past that we have brought into the relationship. And we don't even realize it until that moment when we become triggered over some issue or another that we have dealt with in our past. Amen. She said he and his lover were playing a game. Hello, nuts and bolts. Wow. So y'all see that? And here, this is two consenting adults doing what they do. And this is why we talk about these things, because
and it still resulted in injury. So you think of how great the injury could be if it were not consensual.
Yep.
Okay. Or if you didn't know that this is the way he rolls or she rolls.
Exactly. All right.
There are people who will only want to have sex when he is bound or she's bound or she is what's the word, knocked out, gassed, inebriated. Okay.
Drunk, dead drunk, where you can't find and those types.
Control.
Yeah, there are people. Listen, y'all, we got all sorts of stuff. There's folks out here that like to have sexual relations.
Okay, Robert.
With dead people. It's called necromancy. Okay. And so if you're out here wanting to have sexual relations with a dead person, what does that then say about what you have to do to get to a dead person? Wow. That means you're going into the morgues, into the hospitals, and you're trying to gain access to places. That means that there might also be some sort of religious connotation that goes along with that. There is so much stuff. Stephanie says traumatic situation cause ideation of fantasies beyond what we can imagine. Choke me. Yes. And we were saying earlier that there was a gentleman, actually, we both know of a gentleman, a different person that has asphyxiated because they like that type of sex, being choked. Okay? Fixations. Okay? Here's another one, number 6. Let's do these 2 and we can get on out of here. Let me see the 6s, you guys, in the chat.
It's dark. See, that's what was happening. Everybody got quiet. This is a dark, can be very dark subject. Right.
And so this is why you have to know what side of the coin that you're on. Are you on preference or are you on perversion? And you have to know where you stand when it comes to certain issues. Where am I going to go? How far do I go with this? Because there are those people, and some of y'all watch that movie that came out, and what made it so bad, it wasn't only the unbelievers that was watching the movie, but it was the numbers were staggering of how many believers were out there watching the movie. Okay, let me see. Stephanie says a man got fired from having sex with a dead body in the hospital morgue. Okay, that's all. No charges were filed. Oh. Well, you can get a civil, you can do a civil suit. You know, the family, especially if they find out about it, but they'll want. Okay. Oh, there is a law against it. You would think, why do we have to have these kind of laws? Because you got these kinds of people. Absolutely. And some of those laws have been around a very long time. Because they moved from the first part of the coin to the second part, where it became a perversion thing. In the South, their law against sex with horses. Those are farm animals that need to be able to reproduce, be able to work the land. They're not for. Isn't that something? You all right out there? Are you asleep? I know you're not asleep with this subject. It got so quiet. Oh my goodness! It got super quiet. Are you guys all right? Yeah, pinch yourself. It's gonna be all right. You don't have to do these things. You just need to know what's going on. All right. She said they're very crazy people. Yes, they absolutely are. There's number 6. Number 6, you guys. Let me see that number 6 in the chat while you tell the people what Marta said. Marta said, but wait, there's more. bit.ly/mm3 links. Link up with Pastor Michelle and GD. Amen. Their marriage makes 3. Thank you, Marta, for sharing with the people. If you need a virtual assistant, you need to see Marta. You need to see True Movement LLC. Help you get your business moving. Amen. I see the 6s coming up in the chat. We're talking tonight, Fetish Fevers with Pastor G and Pastor Me, marriagemakes3.com. The next is this. It's called stimming. Do y'all know what stimming is? You could call it, you could say something like that. Stimming. Anybody, let me see a number 1 in the chat if you know what stimming is. I know some of this language is like so far off because we're like, wait, huh? What are you talking about? Stimming. And I think we kind of alluded to it the other night when we were talking about that there are those people stimming, STI. You spelled it everything right except it's an I. Stimming. Stimming. Stimming is when you are aroused by having some sort of electrical charge, whether it's a taser, yes, y'all, people out here tossing salad, stimming. I can't with these newfangled fandangled terms. Yes, ma'am. Called stimming. You are one that you want to have some kind of electrical play, whether it's the ones that you put on nipples. Like a TENS unit. Yes. TENS unit. Stephanie would know about those. Others who've had to deal with pain or muscle. The frequencies, you all know how a TENS unit, it'll contract the muscle for you, right? Some people, they need, and this is why we say there's a difference between preference and perversion. Now, you all know too much electricity will kill you, right? And I think in some ways, some people are attracted to that. Oh, I could actually die. All right. That's like getting electrical piercings. Ouch. So, let me see the number 7 so we can hurry and get on up out of here.
My Lord.
We got plenty more, but we're just gonna go to number 7 and we're gonna be finished. All right. We may have to do some of this privately, and when we put it on the site, they can have the whole entire thing. How is that? How about that? We'll be right back. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. All right. Listen, guys, don't forget over there. She said, oh, no, bit.ly/reconnected. The relationship reconnect is now on sale. It's $29.99, and you can get it for only $19.99. That's 4 digital videos with over 4.5 hours worth of information that's going to help you to get back on track with your relationship. And you're also going to get this book as a digital download, and it is called 7 Keys to Better Sex in Your Relationship. Oh, marriage. Sorry. I don't know why I keep saying that, because I always expect if you're having sex, you're in a marriage. Right. However, I know that that's not the reality, and that's okay. We understand that everybody isn't where everybody else is, and some folks is not delivered. And so get delivered, but in the meanwhile, learn something. All right. It's a thin line between lust and insanity. Yeah, yes, ma'am. All right. Here is number. Did they put the 7s in the chat? Okay, yes, I see a 7. Number 7 is this. It's called yiffing. And here is your, hey, good hair, good body. Here is your example. It's called yiffing. Oh, wait, I better stop doing that. No. There's no movement. There's nothing about the movement. Nothing about the movement. It's all about this. Can anybody guess? Yiffing. They're like, what is that? Look, you see that? Y'all see that? Yeah, that's a clue.
Nothing like sniffing. There's no glue involved.
No, there's no glue. Okay. Hey, Re4, call 184. This is it's called, that's called dusting. I'm sorry. Yiffing. These are feathers. She said a pipe cleaner. Have you all ever seen a person dressed up? Because it has a lot more to do with not so much feathers, but furry. Have you all ever heard of the furries? There are people out here that they like to dress up in furry costumes, whether they're a rabbit or what else is furry, a teddy bear. She said a pipe cleaner. I am so mad at you. Right? And they like to dress up in furry outfits, whether bears and bunny rabbits.
Kind of like cosplay. Maybe is it kin to?
I think it could be kin to, but they're dressed up from head to toe. She is cracking up.
Usually in something fuzzy.
Yes, she said the scary furries. Yes.
Yeah. On an episode of it was a Family Guy. It was one of those cartoons, Bob Burgers, I think. There were these men, grown men, who were dressing up as unicorns. I think a similar, that's kind of a similar fetish. In that.
You dress up in anthropomorphic animal suits and create a RPG style identity for themselves. It is called the furry lifestyle. She said, why? This is what we're saying, that there are those people. It's not that you just like, because there's nothing wrong with, well, let me say it like this. A lot of people like fur. Okay? If y'all remember back in the 70s, 80s, around that time frame, people wore rabbit fur jackets. Do y'all remember that? Yeah. Rabbit fur coat. Because it's very super soft. It's really, it feels really good to the touch. You know what I'm saying? It really kind of, Stephanie.
All the pimps. Fur coats, though, yes.
Yeah, yes. Cats. People like to dress up like those things. Wow. Well, Now they want to have a whole head to toe experience.
Mm.
So when you see like on the basketball court, what do they call them things? Mascots. They like to be dressed from head to toe, looking like a bear, looking like a cat, looking like a bunny rabbit. And that's what sets them off sexually.
No, no. Dressed like that at Walmart. I'm just sorry,
Walmart.
of all places. So there's an attraction,
Yes.
some sort of sexual gratification that
Yep.
comes from being dressed
Dressed up
like that,
like a furry,
and having someone who is dressed like that.
Yes.
Because very often you see a group of people or a couple
Yes.
dressed like that.
Like it. Yes. I'm terrified of mascots.
I say very
Really?
often.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Hmm.
And so you're definitely not into the furry scene. And so I understand. She said, but not more my booty. Saints, say it no more fur. No more fur. Hi, Mar. This is a real education. I must be really old school. Good hair, good body. I'm telling you, out here in these relationship streets, there's all sorts of things that you will come into contact with. The reason that we did Dateology, the reason that we did Dating 101 is so that before you go out, that you will know what it is that's out there. Because if you don't have a preference before you leave home, okay, you'd leave home without a preference, you might come home with a perversion. Okay? Let me say that again. If you leave home with a preference, okay, and you're not educated, you might come back home on the flip side of the coin and end up with that perversion. And then what needs to be done? Now we've got to go through a whole course of deliverance. Now, and there's nothing wrong with that. Amen. Hey, deliverance is the children's bread. You're supposed to be free. We want you to be free, but we also want you to know that as Christian pastors, there are the entanglements that come with it. Some things keep us in bondage, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually and emotionally. She said McNasty. And so what we have to do is we have to know before we go. She said, they don't need fur, they need Jesus. Come
on.
Hey, John, thank you for joining. So I know a person that likes to stick his big toe in the vajayjay.
Wow.
Do you all see what we're out here dealing with? And these are real people that we have not spoken to about this, that are coming in and letting us know that the very things that we're talking about, that they have real work. That young lady that I spoke to earlier today, and she said she had forgotten all about it. Okay. Forgot, it was so long ago that she'd forgotten, but there's a gentleman that likes to do what do they call it, gagging with that foot fetish. I want your foot, your toe so far down my throat that I'm almost going to throw. Y'all see what we're saying? In addition to all the data collection in dating, we must ask about predilections too. Yes, absolutely. Praise our God, that part. And here's the thing, until we know, we don't know. And that's why it's best for us. What's the difference between furries and the word you said? It's the same thing, but one word is just the word that, that people don't use. Amen. He said the word that I said, yiffing. So you can get an infection from that foolishness.
Words. Excuse me, baby. Or words. Look, and so the reason we talk about this, again, is because there are other people who are not talking about it from a believer-friendly perspective.
Yes.
We want you to know that these kinds of things exist. And all of us are going to, if you're not in a relationship, you may at some point be in one.
Yes.
And so you do need to know what's going on in our world. You need to have some ideas of these things so that should it happen, at least you will be aware of what's going on. You don't want to be caught unaware. It could be. Now, there are places where you can go and read this stuff. And if you think it was a little bit dark with us talking about it,
Right.
it gets darker when you're doing the research on your own.
Yep.
Right? It can be very slippery, a bad tunnel to go down. And we don't want that for you. We don't want that for you. So that's why we talk about it. Now, there are some pastors who won't talk about it. And we're not, because not everybody's qualified. Not everybody has a comfort level where you can talk about those kinds of things. Shouldn't we just preach Jesus? Absolutely, preach the Lord.
Amen.
But there's some reality things that people are facing. And the truth is, some that you're preaching to are already kind of in a place of bondage.
Amen.
Where they need to be deliverance.
Oh, yeah.
And the only way you can help them is to kind of know where they're at.
Right.
And there are some other examples being placed up there even as we speak.
Yes.
So Marta,
let's see.
has one.
Marta said, "A girl I know said the guy would ejaculate on her feet." Okay. Now, was that for his pleasure or hers? And see, there's the other thing.
Or for her pleasure, or for her emotion, to make her feel,
some kind of way,
like urinating on someone. How is that going to make them feel special? It's Robert's pee. So I'm just
some people are out
he could have peed on anybody, but he peed
on me.
That's horrible.
I'm so mad at you, right?
I mean, what? The question is, where is the joy?
Where does it come from? I don't know, but that's the thing. That's why you need to know before you go. Stephanie says, what if someone wants to smear poop on you? That's a whole nother, there's a name specifically for that. The one we were going to talk about is clismophilia. And clismophilia, we'll just go on and throw it in since you mentioned something about something close to that. It's a person that gets their rocks off by giving themselves or other people an enema. What?
Yeah.
Huh?
And there's some things that are just
you said what?
That even take your mind.
You said, huh?
Yeah.
You said what? Yes, they get off on giving themselves or other people enemas. Y'all.
And you see people who like to dress up as, excuse me, Stephanie, as doctors and nurses. And in fact, we were talking about the games that people play. Sometimes they want to play nurse and doctor. But this is the difference is now, that's the other side of the coin. One, pleasure, preference. And the other one is perversion.
Stephanie says, y'all just don't understand the things I've seen in the medical field from a medical pro. Yes, ma'am, from medical professionals. Amen. Wow. His pleasure and not hers at all. Okay, see, that's something that should have been discussed and decided upon.
Demeaning.
Yeah. I mean, if your pull-out game is already weak and then you're pulling that and throwing it on my feet. Hello, what? Lord. Not that, that's crazy, or peeing in someone's mouth, but they are, yes. Did I say enema? I said enema. You say enema, I say butt, enema, butt, enema, butt.
I'm mad. That's horrible. All right. So you all.
I'm sorry.
So you all get the idea.
That was totally completely uncalled
for. Yeah. Try it. You're going to die. And I'm going to jail.
Oh my God, go to prison and get the best enemas ever.
And that was behind Shirley's comment. Shirley said, try it and you're going to die and I'm going to jail.
Oh my God. Listen, y'all. Thank you all so much for being a part of our broadcast. So this is me, Pastor G. Pastor B, Pastor G. We are marriagemakes3.com. Find us all over social media at Marriage Makes 3. She said, I am so done. Hey, Miss Lachey. Hey, Miss Lachey. Thank you for joining water sports and being defecated on, even in the mouth for both. Yes, yes. There's I tell you, we've got a whole bunch more, but we
yeah.
We're gonna put that on a separate yes.
And this is heavy. we realize this. And pastors, who talks about this besides sexologists? Maybe psychologists may grasp, but most people kind of glance right over it. While there are glaze right over it, while there are people who are dealing with this stuff. They're in bondage, they're hurting, they're being defecated on or urinated on, and there is this supposed to feel good? And what we want you to know is that sex is meant for your mutual pleasure. We believe in the confines of marriage, right? Now, we know that everybody is not going to exercise that one part, but we want you to know that if you are doing it, then it should be pleasurable, mutual, and safe. And those kinds of things. There ought to be some questions. There should be some communication about it. If you need to know more, marriagemakes3.com, GD and me, marriagemakes3.com, bit.ly, bit.ly / MM3 links.
Marriage make 3 links. Just remember.
MM3 links.
All right. So don't forget, for those of you that have not yet gone over and get your free downloads, whether it's before I do, after I do, and everywhere in between, we are here for you. John says, have you seen the video of the woman with the stun gun she uses on herself in her bedroom? Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. I've seen that one. Yes. And that goes along with.
Yeah.
So, wait. Saw a lady come into the operating room. Hubby cut her private. Lord have mercy. Mutual enjoyment and safety. Yes. The stun gun, that's a part of that stimming. And I think she's just doing it to be ridiculous. But there are those people that does something for them sexually. It stimulates. And when we're saying it stimulates, we're saying it that they have to have that done in order for them to reach nirvana, climax.
And those are the things, again, when these practices are used, or people have to do these things in order to derive pleasure or fulfillment, then they become fetishes.
Yes. All right. So, guys, thank you again for coming and being with us. We are marriagemakes3.com. Find us at the link in the bio, bit.ly /MM3LINKS. If you are one of those that are in need of some spiritual relationship counseling, you can find us over there. Get a free 15-minute encounter session, and we will help you to deal with one issue that you've got going on. It's free. It's 15 minutes. Come on, give us something to work with here. One issue will give you a strategy and a tool that's going to help you to get past the hump in the road, the hump in the road, the difficulty that you might be experiencing at that moment. And then after that, you may decide, I think I need more of this. We need more of this. Maybe you're trying to become one in marriage. Maybe you have been one and now you're trying to become whole again in divorce. We want you to know that we are here for you and we are willing and able to do all that is necessary to get you back on sure footing. I'm Pastor Michelle. My sweet husband, Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors. We are veterans of the United States Air Force.
We are authors, pastors, and we're your go-to couple for all things relationship. This is Marriage Makes 3, GD and me.
Yes.
And we will be with you again.
On Tuesday.
We're probably going to drop in sometime this weekend to say, hey.
Yes.
All right. We're going to drop in this weekend to say, hey. So look for us, and then we'll talk more about next week. We love you all. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, True Movement, for dropping information for us. Deirdre, I think you probably went to sleep on us, but we love you. Sister Shirley, love you.
Everyone that helps us.
John, thank you, sir. Love
Relationship Reconnect.
Go get it.
bit.ly /reconnected, so that you don't find yourself in these areas dealing with issues instead of dealing with intimacy. All right. Love you guys, and we will see you on Tuesday. if not before.
And we always remind you at the close of our cast that God loves you and you, and we love you. And ain't a thing you can do about
None
it.
of y'all.
And
what?
or them.
What?
Yeah, ain't got nothing to do with you. We love you guys.
Love you.
Have a great night. All right. Rest well. Good night, Facebook Live.
Good night.
Good night, IG.
Night.
Good night, Twitter. Good night, YouTube. Good night, Periscope.